The Invest in Her podcast is brought to you in part by Wells Fargo Bank. Hi, I'm Catherine Gray, founder of She Angel Investors and co-founder of the She Angels Foundation. I'm also the podcast host of Invest in Her and an award-winning producer, author, and TEDx speaker. Our show, Invest in Her, features phenomenal female founders and funders. As you know, women receive less than 2% of venture capital funding. Our series is about accelerating the funding of women by connecting them to funding resources. Let's meet today's guest. Welcome to this week's episode of Invest in Her. I'm your host, Catherine Gray, and today we have on two extraordinary guests. They are my friends, Sharon Gless and Freeda. You probably know them both from our movie, Show Her the Money. If you haven't seen it yet, you've got to check it out. You'll find our schedule on the website because we are traveling to over 50 cities this year, and you can find it at showherthemoneymovie.com. So, without further ado, Emmy award-winning actress and the largest restaurant franchise owner in the country, Freeda and Sharon Gless. Hi, ladies. How are you today?
Good morning.
Hey, it's so good to see you.
It's so fun to be together again.
Oh, my gosh. We have been having too much fun this year, haven't we?
Too much fun. Too much fun.
Speaking of that, I just want to kind of recap our 2023. And then later we're going to talk about 2024 after we talk about how you all met and a bit about your incredible backgrounds. But 2023, was that fun or what?
Yes.
Yeah. You know, you never know what to expect when you do a project like this. So there's always a lot of hidden surprises that you don't expect. So it was amazing. And what was really fun, I think, is getting to see the excitement in all that the other people learned that you didn't realize the impact you were making. So It was really exciting to hear women say, oh my gosh, I want to do something different. There's hope for me. And so that was the really exhilarating part of understanding just the full impact the film is making. It's exciting. Even when you hear it from men and your sons, it's like, it's way better than I ever thought this would be, Mom. I mean, it's fun.
Yeah. And who knew that a film called Show Her the Money, men would be coming to it, loving it.
I know my husband, who's my worst critic, he came to the screening in Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah, Barney.
And
what a
Barney.
great guy. I love his blogs.
Thank you.
Yeah. And look at you, Sharon. You know, it's no secret. You always say it. You're 80 years old. I mean, hard to believe. You look fucking amazing. But, you know, here you are still carrying the torch because everybody out there knows you had 30 million viewers that Cagney and Lacey was such a trailblazing show with you and Tyne Daly that, you know, was really breaking barriers for women as you were the first two women ever to be cast in a drama series as the two female leads. Like,
I can't take credit for, I mean, that show. We had brilliant writers and we had the opportunity that it was now time to hear about and from the women.
Yeah, but it's still, maybe it was luck, but, you know, hey, it was you and you got to do it. And now you're still carrying the torch.
Yeah, I married the producer.
I know you did. And I love when you tell the story that you want everyone to know you married him after you got the part.
After I got the part. That's right. I secured myself a speaking part.
But, you know, here you are still carrying the torch, helping us with Show Her the Money. I wanted to mention you're both executive producers on Show Her the Money. And this past year, let's recount for a second. We won 4 awards in the 4 festivals we've been in so far. Best feature documentary. That was exciting, wasn't it?
It was.
We have been on the for-year consideration list for the Oscars. We had a billboard over here by the studios.
Oh, it was fabulous.
That was fun.
It was.
And just so many exciting things this year. And so many accomplishments. And and we made a music video.
We did?
We did.
Yeah. Like I said, we've been having too much fun. If there is such a thing. But
it's you, Catherine. It is.
I need playmates.
You got them.
So I want to talk about both your backgrounds and how you met. Because, you know, this is the kind of thing we like to talk about on the show for people to get to know our guests, okay, even better than they think they do. So Yes, we know about Cagney and Lacey and all the other incredible shows you've been on. The Trials of Rosie O'Neill,
Right.
Burn Notice, and one of everybody in the LGBTQ community's favorite, Queer as Folk,
Queer as
of course,
Folk,
Debbie.
right.
And
I've been
then
very fortunate.
you have been very
I
fortunate.
really
It's
have.
5 decades. I'm figuring you started when you were 10?
That's it, yes. No, I started when I was 27. I started late.
Yeah.
But I knew there are times when I knew I wouldn't fail.
Yeah.
And it was a very late start getting into this industry.
Yeah.
But there was somebody named Monique James who had faith in me at Universal and guided me all the way to, she's gone now, but I still feel like she guided me all the way to here now.
Everybody needs that person or that mentor, right?
Right.
And what about you, Dawn? Like, you, and I don't want to give away everything in the movie because your incredible story is in the movie, but I do want to say you came from absolutely nothing and built up this empire. Did you too have someone or some people that mentored you and gave you opportunities?
Well, I think that when you come from my background, as you'll learn in the film, there aren't a lot of mentors at that age. There was a lot of survival. But as I grew a little older, I noticed, a teacher or two that took interest in me just enough to just make me feel a little better about myself. But what I knew is that in the life that I was brought into, nothing was going to happen for me miraculously. I was going to have to create it myself. And so my vision from a very young age was really to have a better life. And I always visualized, prayed, and I knew from very, very young. My aunt told me as I was 4, telling her I was going to own my own company because I knew what trauma I was in. And I knew the only way out was getting myself out. So
you sound a lot like Oprah because Oprah talks about that, being at a young age, knowing she was destined to do something greater, right? Like you feel it in your, like at that young age, I think you believed it. You believed it was possible. And we've talked about this, how important it is what we say, what we think, and then you've taught me also how you feel. Like you have to feel what it's going to feel like when that thing happens.
You have to know how you're going to feel when you get it. You don't have to know what it looks like.
Yeah.
But you do have to know how you'll feel when you get whatever that is.
Yeah.
It's
that
all
rush.
in here.
Yeah. And you two are like the best examples of anything is possible. And
we both are because we both overcame unusual odds in life, completely different.
Yes.
But, she came from, Hollywood royalty, that there were expectations on her. There was a way she was supposed to live. Did it always
My
follow?
grandfather said, stay out of it. It's a filthy business.
And
so of course you did the opposite.
That's right, yeah.
and I came from, well, you're never going to amount to anything.
Yeah.
And so I'm like,
I think a lot of us came from that.
Yeah, so you want to believe different, but I think that I always say that there are certain gifts in growing up poor, and that is the gift in dreaming, hoping, wishing, wanting, knowing that something isn't going to land in your lap. So if there's an opportunity, you learn to look at it.
Right.
I would remember seeing things like, oh, this is a chance.
Yes.
Whereas if I maybe had my mom giving me $5 to go to the movies, it wouldn't have been so excited about an opportunity to babysit a dog or a child. Or, I became an entrepreneur at a very young age so I could buy a pair of pants.
And don't you think it's so true that we're given downloads and we either listen to them or we don't?
100%.
Somebody emails me or calls me or whatever, I'll be like, you know what? I need to explore that because the universe is delivering this person and I need to think about that. I also
Thank you for reminding me of that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, well, that's how your career unfolded.
I know, but, but still, then you go along because, gee, it's going so well.
Yeah.
But what you just said is I still have to listen.
Yeah.
Listen all the time.
Listen to that download.
Yeah.
And I think we've all done that too with, we are where we are doing what we're doing. Like even for me working on this film, this was a dream of mine. I'm so thrilled to have the two of you involved because you're such incredible human beings. I want people listening to know that yes, you're both super successful, but also the most down to earth, beautiful people. And, here we all are doing what we love because we listen to that download. I think we agree everybody has a purpose on the planet. And it's a matter of, are we quieting our minds enough to allow that download to come in and then follow those signs that the universe says, call this person, answer that email, meet this person, right? The universe delivers so that we can realize that dream, right?
Yes. And we were having dinner last night and we were talking about how, we're both successful in our own right. And we think, we've done some things right. Sure, there's always room for improvement. But I think we both last night at dinner said, we learned an awful lot from this film that we didn't realize. And I'm in the business world every day. I'm dealing with people, with banks, with women, with men. But I realized just how far suppressed women still are. Mm-hmm. And I didn't understand the sheer magnitude of that until I got involved with the film. When you start spitting out numbers of 2%, or when you think about just the article about Sofia Coppola and what she gets to do a film versus her male counterparts, I'm thinking to myself, we have to keep up the fight. We have to stand up for herself. And I didn't understand just how much we still had to stand up for ourselves in the year 2024.
Right.
Neither did I until I did this film.
The exciting thing is we are taking this film in 2024 on a 50-city tour around the country and around the world to start this movement and empower women with the knowledge of, why are we underfunded? What is venture capital? And why is it so important to our future as women and as the planet at large? What's the future going to be?
And what is possible?
What is possible?
What is possible for women?
I mean, women are born with these incredible ideas and innovations. God. If we don't fund them, how sad for the planet.
Right.
And so we are just loving delivering this message, right? Because we're having fun because even though it's a very important, serious topic, we have to have fun with it.
Sure.
I don't know about you, but if I can't have fun, I don't want to play.
Me too. Me too.
That's that.
I believe we came here to have fun.
That's right. And
it's fun seeing women in the audience responding.
Yes.
It's like, I didn't know that. I can have that.
Yeah.
To know the possibilities that are out there for them, because what the film does, which I'm very impressed by from everyone I've spoken to, is it really tells the story in the easiest possible way for any audience member to understand.
Yes.
So whether you are a high school student or a mother or an MBA student, you're going to understand the exact process you need to follow. It is so black and white and simple that makes you think anyone can follow this path.
Absolutely.
There's tools in there to get you to your next step.
That's right. There's help out there.
Yeah, there's
help out there.
There's a network
there
of
are people
women
who'd like to hear from you.
And a lot of people don't even know what venture capital is. And this is where, our director, Kai Dickens, and I agreed that we needed to make it, like you just said, in lay terms that anyone could understand what is venture capital. Nobody wants to talk about venture capital. It sounds boring, but, you come to our film and you realize, oh my God, it's not boring. It's actually fascinating.
And easy.
And we need to understand it. We've been left out of that arena. That's why we get 2%. There's no women in that arena funding people. But if they come to the movie and they learn how easy it is to understand what venture capital is, which, by the way, is basically women pooling their monies together in a female-founded fund that's then dispersed to various entrepreneurs that otherwise would not be getting funding, then this is how it works. But we explain it even better in the film, so you have to come see it.
Well, you do. And I think there's a part in the film that's really special for young investors in that, sometimes you think it takes a whole lot of money that you have to get into the game, but you don't. There's those groups out there that say, hey, we start people on a smaller level. Let them get their feet wet.
Yes.
Let them see what a little bit of money can do. And I thought that was kind of special because not everybody has 100,000 or 50,000, but there's groups out there that say, you know what, you're a young investor, you're new, let's teach you. We have smaller opportunities for you. And I think that's a great quality that the film shares and has partners that are willing to do that.
Anybody can play.
anybody can play, and everybody sitting in the audience sees themselves in one of the 3 roles that we share in the film.
Right.
Either the woman that started their own venture capital fund, who I call the unsung heroes. Like, they're the ones raising the money that gets invested, and they are rock stars, right? Incredible stories.
Special women.
The women that invest in the funds, like Dawn, you, and other people in our circle that, without the investors, there would be no funds. No. And that's what we have to encourage more women to look at, this asset class that can be very lucrative and, more importantly, make a difference in their legacy, helping other women to create their products and services. And then the third part, of course, is the female entrepreneurs that are getting funding from these female-founded funds that otherwise wouldn't be getting funded for their incredible ideas and innovations. So that's the gist of the movie. But I have to say, rather than just hearing about it, it's so fascinating and engaging to hear the actual stories, right? Don't you think that's the magic of the
the triumphs, what they've had to go through, the successes, just that feeling of an exhilaration when they get that check, to know that everything that they've worked for, oh my gosh, they can take their dream further. They can service the plant in a way that, they had a vision to do so.
The entrepreneurs that see the film tend to say, this film gave me hope. And I'm going to go back to when I met you, Sharon. You just came to see Dawn.
I was just going to say
on
that.
The set, and you were like, Catherine, I was
so blown away that day.
Yeah, but you were feeling you said, I was feeling down and out about what's going on in the world.
Right.
And coming and watching this filming, you said, gives me hope.
It did.
And that's what we want from this film.
I was watching real women, not famous women, real women tell their stories, pitching to other women.
Yes.
And I was totally knocked out. These are real people who want to do business, and particularly with other women, just because it's more fun.
I call it the next evolution of Shark Tank, and it's all focused on women investing in women.
Well, and they have great ideas. And I think one of the cool stories that the film tells that I kind of go back to is women make money go further. Than men. And with that statistic, it makes me think, well, I know how hard I work as a woman, and I'm not saying men don't work hard, but I know I put in a lot of hours. I know I've had to prove myself harder and longer.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking to myself, there's a key point in there. And if a woman makes money go further, I might be more inclined to give her the money because she's going to make my dollar go further.
Yeah, and I just saw that again in a Boston University research report. That is a fact that women tend to be more successful. Why? So why aren't the venture capital people investing in women-founded companies? They are missing out. But you know what? All the women who are going to invest in these women-founded funds, who are investing in women and BIPOC and LGBTQ, they're going to make a lot of money.
Yes,
Let the men sit on the sidelines. That's fine with us. But I have a feeling, and I've found from the screenings, that many of the men that come to see our film are like, wait a minute, we want to get behind this. We have daughters. We have wives. We want to champion this cause.
Right.
And so we are going out on the road. You all can come out and meet us at the screenings. One or all of us will be there, different people from the film at our screenings all over the country, all over the world. Come out and meet and greet us and see the film. And if you want to do a screening, you can do that too, right? Sure. And we have swag. Let's not forget we have swag on our site.
And also we talk to anybody who comes.
Yes, we do.
Talk. We do a Q&A. We talk outside the theater.
Absolutely.
We network. We create connections for people to partner them with somebody who might be a good fit. I've invested in several of the people I've been impressed with. I know other women.
That's happened in the audiences. When we were in Fort Lauderdale, the 3 of us together, there was an audience entrepreneur in the audience who met an investor in the audience, and they invested in them. And we've had many people see the film and invest in the venture capital funds that are affiliated with our film because they're learning about it and they're seeing, oh my God, not only is this simple to understand, not only is this an asset class everybody should have a portion of their portfolio in, but oh my God, so exciting to meet these incredible women with innovations that are unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean, food products to clothing to cures that are helping with cancer and women's health that no male innovator is really going to understand or address. So it's so important that these women get funding for things that pertain to things like women's health.
Well, and I think too, as a woman or even an entrepreneur, you always want to create something. But I look at myself and I go, I'm just not that smart. But I want to be a part of this.
This is exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah,
you know,
I'm not that
no, not
smart.
that you weren't that smart, but that I wasn't that
you know,
smart.
I don't know how to do some of these things. So what can I do to be a part of it? I can invest to make that product come to life, and I can be a part in a different way.
Yeah, I
might
say,
not
if you
have
don't have
the
that great idea.
I don't have the great idea.
You can invest in someone who does.
Yeah,
right?
and so that
Yes.
gives me hope that I get to be a part of the next great big idea by helping somebody reach their dream.
Yeah. And I want to circle back to you, Sharon, because we are so honored to have you as an executive producer. You've brought so much media attention to our film, which is so important.
Thank you.
And one of the coolest things we were all excited about is you and Tyne Daly had your reunion of Cagney and Lacey at our LA premiere, and it ended up in People magazine with Taylor Swift on the cover. We were like, oh, yes.
That's right.
Oh, yes.
Okay,
the
here we
universe
are.
keeps supporting
That's
our
right.
publicity and, you know, bringing us so much goodness and attracting so many great people.
Tyne Daly will always show up when it's a women's venture.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love that you surprised me that day on this on the in the news show.
That was fun.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. And then you guys on the red carpet at the premiere, you know, ending up in People. Was it fun to be back in People magazine?
It was.
Yes.
Everybody was buying them. They have different covers now, you know.
Yes.
Everybody was buying me all these covers and sending them to me.
Oh, cool.
And my question is, why not women? I don't really, because I'm not.
This is the year of the woman. I mean, look at Barbie and all these other, you know, Taylor Swift's concert was like another
Woman of the Year
$1 thing.
Woman of the Year.
Yeah.
But why is it that people don't invest in women? Do you know why?
Well, you know, I did a TED Talk on this. It's called Fund Women Save the World. And it's about people tend to invest in people they identify with. So if you and most of the investors up until this point, we're going to change this. Up until this point, most of the time women are going into pitch. It's to an all Caucasian male panel.
Right.
And they would pitch it, and the men, they don't identify with the woman in most cases, and they don't identify with the product. Let's say it's some product to help women's health or something like that.
Don't they identify
and they'll
with
be
money?
like, yeah, I don't understand that. I'm not investing in that. It's kind of like how we tend to invest in people that we have, are like-minded, right?
Mm.
And so, but that's why we need more women, BIPOC, LGBTQ, people that represent the entire entrepreneurial circle. They need to be sitting at that decision-making table deciding who gets the money. And that's what this whole conversation is about,
Isn't the women who spend money? Isn't it the women who spend the money in the
Women
household?
decide 80% of where all the money is spent.
Right.
We should decide where the money is invested as well.
Exactly.
And that's the part that's been missing. Because like you mentioned in the movie, women weren't raised to talk about money. They weren't, they oh, my husband does the investing. We've had people in our audiences, right, that have said, oh, you know what? My husband's been doing all the investing, but I think I'm going to step in and learn about this. It doesn't seem that complicated. And I want to invest in venture capital funds that are investing in women.
I think it's going to change.
They could be.
I do see it changing in the corporate world that I live in. I see more women on boards.
Yeah,
I
you have
see
a
more.
CEO of
we have
Denny's
female,
now,
Kelly
right?
Valade, female CEO.
Yes.
We have a ton of females at the top at Denny's, and I see the shift in thinking. I see the openness to other ideas where maybe a man, and no disrespect to him, he thinks a restaurant should look a certain way.
Yeah.
It should have this kind of color. It should have this kind of ceiling. We as women go in and we want to see it a different way. So I'm seeing new conversation about how we should do things. And if this carries forward, I think it carries forward in investing, in spending, in creativity. It's like, let's look at a menu this way instead of that way. I think we're more open to people's ideas. As we integrate men and women into, higher leadership positions, you're going to get that cohesiveness
that is different than a male perspective.
Yeah, so
it's important to have both.
We got into the workforce late, so we have some catching up to do.
Yes.
And I think our time has arrived. I really feel it within many brands. There's more female CEOs than I've seen in my career, and so I'm enthusiastic about that.
Still lacking. Still
lacking, but we're making progress.
And that's what we're doing with this tour. We're going out there and getting a groundswell of interest and creating a mission around, we have to take this into our own hands. Nobody's going to come and hand us money for venture capital funding for our businesses. Women are coming into trillions of dollars in the coming decade. What are they going to do with it? They need to come see our
invest in
movie.
other women.
They need to come to our movie and learn about this asset class, which is way more profitable than the public stock market, where all of the profits have already been taken by men by the time it gets to the public market, or sticking, like women do, stick it in a CD or give it to charity. No, they can actually make just as much impact as the charity donation in investing in women to perpetuate future wealth for generations to come. And creating products that otherwise wouldn't even come into play. And so that's their legacy. And by the way, they invest in it and can make a lot of money. So, I mean, there's the cherry on top. Yeah.
Well, but don't you think that when men see that women are making all this money, they're going to say, you know what, I don't want to miss out on that either. And maybe we need to take a deeper look into some of that.
And we've already found that at our screenings.
Yeah,
we've had men now investing in the venture capital funds that are supporting women. They're like, hey, I want a better world for my daughter. And by the way, they're sitting there saying, I didn't know it was this bad. And that's why we made the film. Most people do not understand that we only get 2% and that 98% goes to men. Now, if you look at angel investors, about 20% or more, 20 to 30% of them are women. Now that's improved over the years. But in venture capital, still 2%. We're going to change that and move that, aren't we, ladies?
Yeah, it'll be fun to come back in a couple of years, relook at the statistics, and sit here and say, "Oh, we're making change."
That's right.
We want to show that we're moving.
Why not women?
That's
if you want money,
yes,
we have some.
Yeah, we do. All right, ladies. So nice to have you on. Let's talk about where they can find you both.
Thank you, Kathy.
Your Instagram. You're both on. You're
Facebook,
on LinkedIn,
Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter. She's on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. SharonGless.com.
Right. And you have a couple of Instagrams, which is Sharon Gless, and then also Sharon Gless Official.
And she's got fan pages. She's got all kinds of stuff. You have fans that set stuff up. But she's on all the major platforms. And she does have a website, SharonGless.com.
So you guys are findable. We are findable at She Angel Investors. And, of course, come to our movie sites. Showherthemoneymovie.com. And, so let's talk about where they can find us.
Such a good film.
Where are we going next?
Well, we can't say because we don't know when this is airing, but
but we're going to go have fun, right?
We're going everywhere. Nashville. We're going to Texas. We're going to Milwaukee. We're going to Fargo for Julie Peterson Klein, who we love, who's also affiliated with the film.
We're going to London.
Yeah, and I want to say, this film wouldn't be possible without the investors. And you all, as the executive producers, Sharon, Dawn, Wendy Ryan, Diana Grestacek, and all of our associate producers, too many to name, but we're so grateful and thankful to them, because this film would not be possible without the funding. And I want to give a shout out to you, Dawn, because you were our very first investor. That's right. They always say the hardest one to get is the first one. So I'm always forever grateful to you for that.
Well, when you believe in something, it's easy to do.
Yeah. Well, ladies, we're going to wrap up. I know I could talk to you guys all day, and
Catherine,
we'll see everybody.
Thank you for this opportunity.
Yeah, and thank you for making a difference.
You're
and sharing the story and shedding light on this important topic, because without someone like you leading us down this, we wouldn't be able to make the paths that we need to make in this direction.
Thank you.
We've got to educate and
inspire,
motivate.
And
you have been the driving force behind all of us, just really making sure we spread the message and get the information and share it and teach. And it's really been wonderful to learn and be a part of such an exciting,
I had no idea what I was walking into that day when I came to watch you have the women pitch to other women.
Yeah.
And it changed my life. And I'm very grateful to you for letting me be a part of this.
Thank you. And
please.
Hey, and P.S. and we're having fun doing it.
No kidding. We are.
That's
the truth.
Everybody, I'm going to let you know where you can find us. You can find us at showherthemoneymovie.com. Please check out the schedule. Come out and meet us in person. Come see the film. Schedule a screening if you want. Get your swag, let everybody know you're part of our movement. It does take a village. It takes you, the listener, joining us on this journey because we can't do it alone. And you're going to have fun with us. So let's create change, everybody. Let's be the change makers to see what it is we want in the world, which is having more women funded. It will be such a powerful and empowering journey to join us on this. So showherthemoneymovie.com. Thanks for tuning in. Follow us on all of our social. Of course, you can find us on Instagram and Facebook, and you can find me and Show Her the Money on LinkedIn. We will see you there, and thank you so much for tuning in. Make it a great day, everybody. Take care.